Right, today my blog is coming to you live from the keep at Knaresborough Castle. You can see here. If you can hear noise, it is because it is raining, very lightly, but it is raining. I'm sheltering under a tree here. See the surrounding, there's not much left of it. We're perched high on a cliff, and in that direction, where the trees are, it literally falls away to where the River Nidd. Beautiful area. Anyway, not so beautiful weather, but there we are. Now, my blog for this week. We shall start with the prayer requests. We have one prayer request from Ben, patron known as BCU Ramfan on the forum. He's actually away at the moment in a country called Belize, Mesoamerica. He's on a mission trip there. It's not his first, but he would like prayer anyway. It's a big thing, going on a mission trip, helping people less fortunate than yourself. So we are keeping him in our prayers. I don't know when he gets back. I assume it's just a week or a 2-week mission. The second prayer is for a patron known as Timone, who is, yesterday in fact, left for basic training in the US military. He shall be gone for several months now, whilst they teach him everything he needs to know to do his job. It's not a particularly altogether nice experience, I hear, from those who have done it. There's a lot of things to get used to. Originally, what amounts in my opinion to a lot of maltreating, one must be completely reconditioned, I believe, in the way that they think and the way that they act. And that's quite a painful process in some respects. So he would like prayer for that. That's the tree. I think the big thing on the forum this week was the spat I had with Chuck following the results of UFC 86. That's the tour group coming out here. And I went a little bit mad on him, just because I'm not a big fan of politicians. I'm not a big fan of people who pretend that the world is not corrupt when it obviously is. I'm not a big fan of somebody who says, oh, the UFC management can't possibly buy off judges, give false decisions, etc, etc. I mean, I'm not really bothered too much by Griffin and Rampage, to be totally honest. They both make very good champions in their own right. But I was making a point, and he refused to listen, and then he decided he'd bring piss on pulver, and yes, that's the way to get me angry, isn't it? So anyway, Mikey Burnett has opened a new gym, which I find quite interesting. I was going to mention his gym anyway, because it's just opened. I believe this might be the end of the first week, end of the second week, something like that. And he's suing the UFC and the producers of The Ultimate Fighter for supposedly a career-ending injury that occurred to him during his tenure on Tough, which must have been quite some time ago. I think it may have even been the first, second, something. Maybe it was the fourth, actually, because I didn't watch that one too much either. But anyway, he hurt himself, supposedly. Haven't heard the details of it, but I shall be interested to understand who can open a gym with a career-ending injury in mixed martial arts, because I don't understand how he can teach if he's... I don't know. But anyway, now, the other thing I have to report, you have to excuse me, there are people right behind me. Yeah. So the other thing to report, as far as I'm concerned, is what's being hailed as one of the greatest Wimbledon victories ever. Me and my sister watched part of it. It was between the number 1 seed, Roger Federer, and a Spanish entry known as Rafael Nadal. Now, I do believe that Nadal had been in this situation before, lost, and was found weeping in his locker room. That, of course, immediately endeared him to me. He's also absolutely spectacular to look at. But I'm not a big tennis fan. It was the final though, and me and my sister watched the second half of it. There were 3 parts, each interspersed with a shower where they had to stop play. During the first part, Nadal was doing very, very well. He'd won 2, and then they stopped. And then he failed to win the 3rd, to win the tournament. In fact, the other guy, Federer, came back and won 2 as well, so then they were 2 apiece. Then play stopped again for rain, and we stopped watching. Apparently they carried on when the shower stopped, finished at about 9:35 when it was getting quite dark, and Nadal actually won this time, which is fantastic. He's also the person who happened to knock out the last of the British people in the event, Murray, who did rather well, although he acted like a little bit like winning a tennis championship was like winning a something in mixed martial arts. I've never seen a tennis player act like a mixed martial artist in winning or defeat before, roaring at the crowd. It really was quite weird. Nadal, for his part, apparently sort of lay on his back and wiggled his arms and his legs in the air. But there we are. If you win, I guess you are allowed to do whatever you want in tennis by way of victory. I don't really know. I'm not a tennis person, but I thought I'd announce that because apparently it has been hailed as one of the most spectacular ends to Wimbledon ever, and I watched at least a 1/3 of it, so that's been quite good. The last thing to say is that my grandmother had her birthday this weekend, my father has his birthday next weekend, and right in between I have my annual inspection from my nasty landlord, which should be alright. It's also a gas maintenance check, but that's the thing we're preparing for this week. Basically that happens on Wednesday. I didn't visit my grandmother over her birthday, but I did send her something with my parents who went down to visit her, and next week my father's birthday, which will be something to look forward to. So from Knaresborough Castle and my blog this week, rambly though it is in wet weather, nice surroundings though, goodbye.